quantlabsnet.com. I want to go over a couple of points. This is all random stream live here. Wanted to go over some of the important elements that I'm working on, have worked on the last few days. Just by accident, I've come across a Rhythmic API with Python. By accident, I found out you don't need to connect into Rhythmic trading software on Windows to make that happen. And also the other good thing is it can run even on Linux and Mac. That's the major thing that I've come across. So again, no Rhythmic trading software needed for this using the Python API. This can also work with, there's examples of JavaScript as well. And that means that you can use either. I'm going to assume the JavaScript will work in Linux as well. But it's all based around the protobuf, which is not easy to work with, but I have a document available that I use with the AI to get that working. To get that through that whole process and to get to a very close point of it working, I blew about 1 month of my AI budget to get that working all in one day. It was just the only way I could do it was using the latest version of Claude for that. Another big discovery that came out of that was if you've been watching on my blog all of the trading plans that I can put up. It's quite extensive, 30, 40, 50 pages in a PDF, very detailed, right across the board when it comes to trading bots and stuff. And that's again for the futures and options market. Some of the other things is I'm able to turn that same document into actual trading bots. I get 10 using the prompt that I have, client trading bots I've shown. So that's working as well. So that's a big benefit. That's going to be very expensive to do. So as a result, I'll be heavily relying on the new DeepSeek coming out. The probability of that from the prediction markets say about so like a 60% chance the third week of March. Hey JDI, if you got a question, let me know. It's a random stream. Also, where we're at with this project with Rhythmic, I'm waiting on the Rhythmic support to get that working API because I just want to work with real world data. I don't want to work with trading data anymore, especially if I'm going to be testing trading bots before I take them live, the profitable ones. Also, that process needs to get qualified by, basically approved by the API support to make it happen. And if you don't get that approval, I can't remember the name of it, your bots are not going to will not get past their firewall. So you have to be pre-approved. I've already been pre-approved for both C++ and C Sharp, but now I'm going through the Python and JavaScript. And just to let you know, there is a certification file that you need to get once Rhythmic creates the account for you. So it's a really drawn out account. They're very secure of what they're doing. And of course, I've said before in all my social media, I can't talk about anything to do with the Rhythmic API just due to their terms of service. Can't demo it, can't share the code. It's very strict. But I'm just letting you know that the capability to do this with Python with their API can be done without the software and quite possibly on Linux and Mac as well. It's a huge benefit. All right, so I've talked about the support, and let me see here. Okay, I know this might affect you, JDI. I have looked into with this IB Interactive Brokers account, set up a had with this blueprint thing that you can get on my website, hftcode.com. I was going to create a sophisticated product that will enable people to test and build out trading client bots, and I can supply a fresh new supply every day. Part of the problem there is to make that happen, especially when it comes to futures and options. You do need to get because the simulated mode's again useless, no different than Rhythmic. The data is useless, so you need to get real world market data. So in order to get futures and options market data on interactive brokers, you have to have a $500 account funded, and you're going to be spending at least $10 a month on that data feed. Now, from what I've seen and my experience with people, they'll never do that. So why am I going to create that product for people if they're not willing to meet that minimum requirement with interactive brokers? And that's with any environment. The only other option is much, much more expensive. If you really want to get serious with trading, specifically around option chain data and futures data, you're going to have to pay for something. And the cheapest way I've seen, the highest quality, is but I'm paying 140 with Rhythmic as well, and that's including API access as well. JDI, how much is that package that you have with the futures and options? I understand it's $10. I was told when I had it $30 per month. The way is I see it is if you do 30 trades a day or 30 days of commissions on interactive brokers like live trades with those commissions, 30 days worth in a month, you'll get the data for free. So that's the other requirement as well. So at the end of the day, if you really want to get serious about trading stuff, you can't use simulated. I think with the extreme volatility we've seen, that's useless as well because we're so used to momentum-based market environments with this latest Iran thing. Yeah, so it's free for you because of your commission rates, because you're an active trader. I can be, but I'm making more money just not trading. I'm already up 22%, I believe, year to date with interactive brokers, just buy and hold. I haven't touched the account since August. So there's that. And yeah, the data is the most important thing. Whatever you're building, if it's simulated, whatever, you're going to need high quality data and real market data. You can, as I've said before, you can back test to the cows come home, and whatever you back tested for is useless in this market regime because the market regimes changes, I don't know, every couple of days now. It used to be market regimes would change every couple of months, not every couple of days, because of these news events that are constantly coming across wire feeds and whatnot. So it's pretty serious stuff. So the only way to get around that is pay for the quality data feeds. All right, so I've been on for 8 minutes. I didn't want to go beyond that. But if you got any questions, JDI, let me know over the next 2 minutes or so if you can, or comments. Wasn't sure if anyone would be on board with this since this is all random. I'll do a couple of more like this throughout the week. But as it stands, I think I'm hoping to get this Rhythmic API with Python up and running ASAP. This is the dream type of environment to be in. I really want to be off of Windows with what's going on there and coming out of Microsoft. Plus, yeah, you don't have to go through the software as well. What I'll do is with the AI now, I'll be able to, and I have done it before, quickly customize, build customized dashboards to test to see how these simulated trading bots are doing in pretty well in real time. Well, it's basically the click of a button for the import. I can get more into the technical if you want. With the technical, when it comes to this sort of thing, have you seen the Pentagon Claude news? Yeah, I've been watching it. I think it'll die out. Claude will be still around, or Anthropic will still be around. There most likely will be a lawsuit with Anthropic, as they should. It's just pretty incredible what they're coming up with. We want to use your AI technology, but then they don't work out, and then they turn around and say it's a risk to the country. It just you first use it because it's so valuable, and then because they don't play your game, then it's crazy. Then you label them as a bunch of seditionists as well. And same with OpenAI when they jumped aboard on the opportunity. Now they're losing a lot of customers as well. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, the technical. When it comes to the Rhythmic API, I always thought the streaming would work. The streaming takes so much data and utilization out of a system, costs more as well. So basically, what I'm going to be doing is I'll be taking snapshots every, I don't know, 10 seconds, as well as that, and that's across multiple trading bots as well, because it just conflicts when you're trying to do live streaming. It can be done, but you need pretty heavy duty hardware for it. And if you're running it on the cloud, it's too expensive and blah 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 with the GPUs and all that. If it's through cloud, not a wise move. Plus I think the bots would compete with each other for streaming and the resources with, in my case, Rhythmic. So I'll just do snapshots, which is much easier to do anyways. Less competition, less computerized utilization. So that's what it's planning to do. And the way it can be coded up now with the bot and the coding, and I have a Python script that will go out and capture data from Rhythmic. I have streamed it, and it can create snapshots as well. But as I said, I've run into major technical difficulties when it's streaming. So from my point of view, it's just easier just to do very frequent snapshots, because I could have 10, 20, 30 of these bots running. And the other thing is, the way I used to do it, I'd have the bot connect into a hub server, like if it was C Sharp or C++ or even Python itself, so that it would take many trading bots, and then it would be one connection on the server, and then that server thing would then interact one-on-one with interactive brokers or Rhythmic. With this concept that I've come up with, each bot will have its own direct connection into Rhythmic. So they'll be self-contained, so there's really no server needed anymore. That's the way it's been coded up. That's hopefully my original concept. I might have to change that back to having a unified server everything connects into, but we'll see. Once I get my hands on the production market data on Rhythmic for the Python API, because that has to get approved by them. And we'll see what happens. Have you found it Xdata use AI models for your bot? So I'm not sure if that's a typo there. Have you found it Exito use AI models for your bot? If you want to retype that, JDI. Well, like I said, I could have, way it's going, I could have over a period of time, I could have, oh, one thing I should mention is that makes it really good. Oh, is it expensive? No, not really. Because it's just snapshots of data taken. There's really no price change for streaming or historical, because I'm paying a flat fee with interactive brokers. And because there's less utilization if I go cloud, there's less bandwidth as well, and that's the better way to go. Like I said, I got to get approval from Rhythmic to proceed with a live connection with it. But that's the priority now. Once I get all that in place, I got the code ready to go, and I'm still working on the concept. Way I'm looking at it, I'm really waiting for the new DeepSeek 4. I'm starting to really push once again the limits of my AI budget and my utilization with whatever AI I'm using. One thing I need people to be really cognizant of, if you're going the route of, let's say, a Claude code or through a CLI with any of the AI models providers like OpenAI or their tools, like the desktop tools using their models, you got to be very careful there because they don't put caps on each month for it. I read a guy who thought he had a $200 a month cap on his Anthropic account, and there is no such thing. If you look at the pricing for the max, it'll say $100 and up, and they don't put that cap on there. Anyways, he ended up paying or having to be billed over $14,000 for 1 month of use with his Claude account or Anthropic account. So if you're gonna do that, make sure you have a cap on it. So if you do go over that the amount of traffic you use on requests from whatever AI, you can easily go and break through that cap. Whereas the cap will be a hard limit on what you can use. So as I said, I've already gone through mine 50%, more than 50. Like I'm down to 15% now, and the account is just halfway. Yes. Do you think better will be better than Opus? That's what I'm hoping for. I've road tested both the Minimax M2.5 and the Opus 4.5, let's say. The Minimax is pennies to dollars versus the Claude cost. And Minimax is getting there in terms of the quality output. I do think that the new DeepSeek will exceed it. And from what I understand, the DeepSeek will be much more innovative as a model and much cheaper. So I do think the DeepSeek 4 will be a huge, huge deal for something like what I do. Just hoping that the code generation part is high quality because Claude's very, very good at that. And as I said, the Minimax is getting up there as well for pennies to the dollar compared to Opus. So it's getting much better, way cheaper. I don't know if you've heard, but with Quen, they've uh, have new models that came out, new versions where you can download the entire LLM and put it on a phone. I had these portfolio guys here when I mentioned that. First, they didn't believe me, and once they believed me, they said that that's going to pretty well destroy the market values of a lot of the Western AI industry, basically, because they're overvaluated, especially on the data center. So news has not hit mainstream on this, obviously for a reason, but I do think DeepSeek, once that comes out, there will be news like that where you can, let's say, download the DeepSeek Lite on a phone, then that's the end of that. So yeah, DeepSeek will have some big impact, I think. It's supposed to come out third week of March, namely around March 25th. You go to Poly Market, you'll see the odds of that release date. Those are the highest, and that seems to be what it will be. So yeah, DeepSeek 4 will be a huge benefit, along with uh, what it can do in terms of value, the cost of it. Also, the thing I'm finding is that DeepSeek, or sorry, I just tested the new, just came out yesterday, the ChatGPT 5.4 and the Pro. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not very transparent because when you put your query in your prompt, it just circles around. It's just thinking, whereas Gemini, Anthropic, it tells you what it's doing in the data stream. I waited 5 minutes for this on Claude. Sorry, on the OpenAI ChatGPT 5.4. I canceled it. I just didn't trust it, what it was generating. So as long as that's in play, then I am going to not use it nor recommend it because there's no transparency on that because of that. And personally, I'm not willing to pay for something where I don't know A, the quality output, and B, when it's doing like everybody else does. So I'm not very encouraged by that when it comes to OpenAI. And the other thing, the Codex is okay, but why use that when you got Minimax? Minimax has been very, very good lately, and you pay nothing for it. And I think DeepSeek will change all that. The Quen 3.5, I just tested. It's pretty random, but when it generates code or whatever, it's pretty good. But consistently, Minimax is still the number one I find out of China for quality and consistent output. So there's that. So if there's no more questions, I'll drop off. Let me know if you got a question, JDI. Glad you're here. Just lengthens the conversation more, which is fine. But I just wanted to bring people up to date on what's going on. It does take a lot of time to do things. So I'll wait. I got here 3:40. If you want to just give me 1 or 2 minutes, I can talk in the meantime. So I've covered all the major things I want to cover. Um, but if you want quality data, especially futures and options, uh, yeah, I think Rhythmic's number one. One thing I want to say is the reports I'm putting out. These portfolio guys looked at it, and they were like, "Yeah, that's institutional level what they'd put out." These guys run a $300 million roughly in one of the five large banks in Canada, so they're legit. What they don't know is if I can do it, and the outlook is much better. Like the AI picked up stuff that they never saw coming, like jet fuel oil is going to go up immensely. That was one of the news items yesterday on the Singapore SGX. Apparently, they didn't know about that. AI picked it up, made it a big story. So these are things that are going to happen. Point is that my stuff seems to be up there and ahead. When running my bots on IB, I noticed that I was more profitable looking at longer time frames. That's correct. But the other question is with the short-term time frames, JDI, if you are going to use the short-term goal or time horizon, is it news driven? Because that's the whole point of it. As I said earlier, if I have trading reports that are basically trading plans around futures and options, how long does it take you to automate the setups on those trades? It could take days. And then that opportunity, because of an event, news event, that news event and that opportunity comes and goes very quickly. So you literally have to do it in preparation of what will move. This is for short term. And that's how you make money is to anticipate short-term moves and figure out the probability of it happening. Or something that's kind of predictable, like let's say Saturday when um the 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 war started on Friday, Saturday, we knew come Monday oil shot up, which it did. That's one of those things that I'm talking about on the news event. How did I meet the institutional guys? These are my big portfolio manager guys. So I'm a client of theirs, basically. Yeah, they're big, they're huge. And they know what I do. And I don't want to say I'm doing better than them, but I'll let people decide that. I have been trying to trade for now, going in my third week next week. No live orders at all. I don't know what's going on. But I'm hoping with this Python API business that will improve things. Any other questions? Let me know, JDI, if you can. But yeah, things are moving fast and furious, and so I'll be doing a couple more of these random streams. They're just easier to put out, I find. That's all, and I can make some really good short media clips out of them as well. So everything I do is AI basically. So if you got any other questions, let me know, JDI. I'll wait aboard. Um, yeah, and it's kind of hard to watch the markets, but I'm really anticipating the Python Rhythmic API will change everything in what I do in terms of the strategy development. I already see that for the trading bots, along with one last big one I haven't mentioned yet is the agents. I am planning because I have a process now. No, I don't make the shorts myself. I have an AI that does it. Regarding the agents, I am automating my whole workflow and just ramping it up to do it more frequently. As I said, once I put out the trading bots I want to test on performance, like I put out a few days ago or a week ago, I'll be able to do that all the time. I'll have like I said, a dashboard that will watch the performance. Then I'll know which bots to keep moving and push them into a live production environment for trading. So as I said, I want to automate all of this, 100% of it, end to end, and I just watch what it does, and then either override it when there's something I don't like in terms of bots not being profitable or not performing as I want. That's the goal. It'll be making life a lot easier. I'd like to do the same thing for interactive brokers. Obviously, if I did it interactive brokers, I can definitely showcase that because there's no restrictions on their coding from the API level interactive brokers. So that's something I'm looking forward to. But I have to say the Rhythmic data, that's real. It's not delayed. There's a lot of capabilities I can do with the API I can't do with interactive brokers. In terms of market trends and news, what do you use to keep up to date? Do you have a dashboard? I think I mentioned that again, JDI with the news feeds that I'm using because I'm using news feeds and I use those to be fed into an AI. Just get the AI via prompting to summarize what it sees and the trading opportunities because there's tons and tons of models now that can do that. It's specifically for math and science. So that can be done and then build out summaries from that. If you're on my quant analytics, which I should also remind, that's going to go up 50% come Monday. Okay. So that's going to more than double, I hope, the way I'm going. And if things become profitable and do perform, they will not be geared towards the retail crowd. Don't like saying that, but yeah, I'm doing it for a reason. Anyways, that's the goal I'm doing there. When it comes to stuff in Rhythmic and coding, the only way to get around that to show people is I'm gonna have to confirm this. I'd have to do it on a consultancy basis. But again, I'm kind of wondering if that's something I really want to pursue because it's so time consuming, especially on the ramp up of selling a solution. It's just not worth it from my point of view at this point. So there's all that in flux, we'll call it. But yeah, for now, if I think most likely I will. Oh, I didn't even mention this. When it comes to the Rhythmic API, because there's no hardware needed, in the configuration I've set up via AI code generation, I have it where all my bots, or I can have multiple configuration files for different Rhythmic trading servers. So, for instance, the two main ones, when you get a new account, you'll get the test a connection for the test server, and then you'll have the production one as well. So there are all these connection endpoints that you can configure. The same bot, uh, if it's for production or for live trading, it's you don't change anything other than the configuration and point it to another connection point, different server on interactive brokers. So because how interactive, or this is sorry, that's all Rhythmic I'm talking about. Here's the problem with interactive brokers. There are only two data centers in interactive brokers. There's one in Switzerland and then there's one in New Jersey. Okay, so that's going to be a problem for people for a variety of reasons. So if you're just doing retail, small level stuff, that's fine. But if you're trying to get a faster connection somewhat into the CME Aurora data center, it's not going to be a big fat no-go for interactive brokers because how it works is you'll probably connect most likely in New Jersey, and then they have a dedicated pipeline between the New Jersey data center into the Aurora CME data center. So there's apparently a lot of delays there. Whereas with Rhythmic, if you're doing and getting very serious with futures and options, the really good thing with Rhythmic is they have different servers globally, so you can connect into let's say Frankfurt. You can connect into one in Brazil. They have a dedicated one in Japan, Singapore, and so on. So that gives you access into direct, fairly, I won't say just, I'll just say lower latency into whatever exchange you want and trade on those exchanges. Because that's the one beautiful thing I like about Rhythmic is that you have access to different exchanges throughout the world. As you know, I'm just focused on CME and CME owned exchanges like Globex, CBOT, and that. That's my primary focus. But I could easily just flip a switch and dedicate a trading bot towards something on the Eurex or the LME, specific types of metals. And I can trade that quite easily, but just getting permission to access the server via Rhythmic, change the endpoint, and then the trading logic, trading rules will stay the same. As I said, you cannot do that with interactive brokers. It's not as well, it's like a Mickey Mouse show with interactive brokers versus like a Rhythmic because of how they set up everything on their server side. Once you understand the options you have, they don't go out and advertise it, but it is a big advantage you have with Rhythmic if you grow an account to a significant size, meaning 50K, let's say, from a retail perspective. And as I said before, you can easily scale up to get into the direct market access into the CME Aurora, which is where most high frequency trading shops live in the US. Chill with Rhythmic Talk, boss. Yes, I've been doing that for half an hour. Welcome, Shakir Ali. I don't know where you are, man. I hope you're not in the Gulf region. Oh, man. I was supposed to be there in the last week or so, and I purposely held off, waiting to see what would happen. Boy, oh boy, I'm glad I held off. I'm still looking at Singapore, but here's the problem. As I said yesterday, I noticed that oh, you're in Pakistan. Okay. One of the very few quants. Welcome. As for Singapore, I did notice in the news that jet fuel is supposed to go up a lot. I got reports in France that gas prices have already gone up 50% at the pump. So part of the problem is if this continues the way it's going and the way I think it will continue with these Hormuz Strait being closed down, like there might not be any gas supply anywhere. So what's going to happen is that the jet fuel, if it continues, one of two things could happen. Virtually no travel demand, so flights will get canceled. And even if there is demand, the airlines may not want to operate because they're not operating at a profit because the jet fuel is too much. So that's another thing where I think if you're traveling, you could get stranded wherever you go. Just putting that out there. And I'm kind of thinking that once I saw this notification. I hear Japan and are having issues with energy as well. Yeah, I just learned this too. Japan, their energy supply, I think 80% of it or 70% of it comes via the Persian Gulf. And I believe Korea is not far behind for that. China's fine because they've somehow anticipated this with a huge amount of storage they have of oil. Plus, they have a huge pipeline from Russia, which is the other half of their supply. So I don't know. Anyways, Shakir says, I agree with you. I did have travel plans to the Gulf, planned everything 2 months ago, and now everything is in jeopardy. Yeah, I think it's not just the region now. I wonder on the travel, like what will happen if this continues, and I think it will continue. No matter if Trump wants his, he put out a forced Iran to surrender, which is I don't think so. If it continues the way it's going, I think the world's going to run out of energy for sure, and that is a good way for it to collapse an economy, which is kind of sad, but the reality is that. And not just that, but people don't realize that UAE, Qatar, 80% of their food production is shipped in through the same means. So they have a problem there. One thing I will say about China and Russia, as far as I understand as of yesterday, they are letting tankers go through if those tankers are flying either a Russian or Iranian sorry, a Russian or a Chinese flag, they'll let the tankers through. So anything else, they'll just block. I have no idea how the U.S. or Israel is going to prevent to unclog that. I just don't know. But it's something to watch for sure. If you guys got any other questions or comments, please let me know. And plus, for you, Shakir, I'm sure you already know about what's going on with Afghanistan. Um, I wonder if India is going to get involved in that one. And then well, you got Iran, you got Afghanistan, potentially Pakistan and India going at each other too. That could be a flash moment. And then, and I don't know, quite possibly because uh, Turkey and China back Pakistan. So what happens there too? So who knows the way it's going? This could easily get out of control. So anything's possible. But right now, for sure, the energy supply is going to be a problem for a lot of economies. And as you know, if you're importing it in, it could quite likely collapse your economy in a short order. I think, from what I understand, there's 8 days of supply of food for UAE, something like that. So I don't know. We'll see. If you guys got questions, let me know. Type them up, please, 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 please. I don't mind staying around, but I'm just waiting on an email for rhythmic support so I can proceed. Even though I got maybe an hour left, otherwise got to wait next week. They just got to approve everything, which is pretty fast, hopefully. And once that's in place, then I can fire off my little bots and see if they work and get real working market data into them, and then boom. Because everything else I've been doing is just all AI. That's the beauty of it. And thank you for the likes. I appreciate it all. So if you guys got any other questions, let me know. A lot of people from the UK who moved to Dubai have moved back. Yes. I think it's just Westerners, but it has opened up a lot of exposure on the Gulf region, and people are probably going to sit there and reconsider it. Now they're just a waterway away from getting blown up by a bunch of rockets. So I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. A lot of people are looking at Dubai as a country to move to, but the conflict has definitely changed that. Yeah, exactly what I was just saying. It exposes a lot. That's why I think places like Asia now is the place to go. The other area, obviously South America or Central America. I don't know, but that's if you're one like me trying to do this escape the West routine, that's all you really have, unless you're willing to live in something like New Zealand as well. Who knows? But it's fast changing, but it exposes a lot regarding the Gulf region for sure. If you guys got questions, let me know. Yeah, I'm just waiting around for this email to come in from good old Rhythmic. If not, I will be hammering away, and once I got word that that works, then you'll know if you're on my email list at quantlabsnet.com. And it looks like we may have a decent crowd Tuesday on the part 2 of the interactive brokers algo thing that I put up the blueprint. I've gotten a few emails. People are already using that thing for live trading. They're quite amazed with it. It's for $30. They say it's the fastest way to get active with interactive brokers to start trading with the setup I got and the AI with the Kilo and the VS code. And if you want to know more, just go to hftcode.com for that. But I was going to put and extend that out for interactive brokers, but I just don't think, knowing how people are, they're not going to pay for the minimum requirements for that to get good data. Okay, one more minute. If you guys got a question or a comment, let me know. You guys are more than welcome to chime away. Thanks, Shakir, Ali, and JDI for your questions so far. I appreciate all that. Yeah, again, this is just all random. I might do one tomorrow. I might do one. I don't know. It just uh, I got a minimum requirement to get my because I could get a free backpack courtesy of the platform we're on to meet certain requirements. So that's one of the main goals. I want my backpack. The only thing I got from this platform. I think companies like TradingView will struggle. Yeah, I have predicted that GDI. I think a lot of platforms will now wither away and vanish because I see a lot of third-party stuff on Google Ads, and I go, I could easily replicate that. I could easily replicate that service. What you want is that cannot be replicated by AI as community. And that's what I'm trying to build up now, right now, via my website. I have 540 people free on a group. I haven't really taken advantage of it, but I plan to. That's right on my website. And also, I don't know if you guys know, but I've got, which I can't really do a whole lot with. I got, I think, 11,000 people on my LinkedIn. I've got 15,000 on a Facebook group. I don't know, man. It's just hard to get attention from those platforms. People doom scroll too much. Shakir, to be honest, I like your shorts when they come up in my feed. I mostly do U.S. equity with a small hedge fund. So when you talk about futures and options, though, I have done major things there, but I prefer equities. I did equities. Yeah, I started last spring till say in the fall last year. They're good, but I knew what was coming. That look at what's happening to the equity space now. A lot of things are dying off. I still have everything in place to figure that out, and I'm like, I'd like to do it. Right now, futures and options is my priority, but I may get back into equities, stock, and ETF. But like I said, I've got a professional set of portfolio managers doing that for me. But I may get back into it. Depends upon demand as well. So I can do that for sure. GDI with data from IB, it is really easy to develop something like TradingView. I think if it's for yourself, I think it's very easy to develop anything with something like a rhythmic data. They do have arrangements where you as a business can maybe obviously you could publish the data directly, but you have to have some kind of an agreement in place with some a provider like Rhythmic. I do not know that they have those kind of arrangements, so that's possible. But what I've been told, and I've verified this through IQ Feed, which is another good source, but kind of expensive now. All you need to do is you work with the data, you change the data using algorithms and stuff, and you publish the changed data, you're okay there. So that's one way to kind of get around it. But I'm sure when you're repurposing data for commercial purposes, you obviously have to have some kind of license agreement in place for that. I didn't get to ask last week, what do you think about COMEX halt last week with silver? It's a simple answer. It's rigged. I've watched enough videos on that where they said that they had to move physical silver and do it in a secret way. So they just said, "Oh, sorry, I've got a technical glitch," and off they go and move it. So that's what I think kind of went on, and you're gonna see a lot more of that, especially from the CME. They're just not really honest people. I think that's what I'm seeing. But who else you got to go on, right? I just right now, to be honest, if you're going to play this game, energy is where you want to be. Obviously, precious metals, and maybe just maybe crypto may come back. Hopefully, it'd be nice. But I do see more and more trading opportunity from the last month. It's all in crypto. It's all crypto for trading opportunity. Even though it's getting a bad rap in the press because of the drops, but it's not just Bitcoin's the one that's getting the bad press. It's Ethereum and stablecoins is where the opportunities lie. So yeah, Bitcoin bad, but Ethereum looks okay, and especially with the stablecoins as well. So hopefully I'll answer that. So Shakir asks, TradingView is a majorly front end. I did recently integrate TradingView lightweight chart into backtesting framework. It is good stuff, but try the more advanced AI. You'll be blown away, and just you could easily build a JavaScript front end for whatever you want in 10 minutes. It's a no-brainer now with AI. And as I said before, if you want to do it on the cheap, use Minimax until the new DeepSeek comes out, which may quite possibly even cheaper. So that's changing everything. You take data and just ask for a front end in JavaScript with so and so charge, so and so metrics, boom, 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 does it, and then you get your front end. Boom. It's powerful. Retracting my statement, trading view before front end and back end both. Crazy back end behemoth. Yeah, well, I don't know if you mean by the size of it. I was just going through all of my apps on my computer. Yeah, and trading views, what, a gig or 2 gig? The reason for that is because it's built on something called Electron. Uh, those are monsters to work with. Like they're just inefficient in terms of size. I was thinking of building an Electron app as well, but I haven't been bothered. That's why I prefer having the AI develop a self-contained HTML with the JavaScript components. It's just as lighter and easier to distribute, if that's what you're referring to. Do you think tokenization will change the way markets run? Absolutely. When you look at the early days of Binance when they were coming out with their tokenized stocks, Tesla and whatnot, that got them into trouble and got them eventually booted out of North America. They were the first ones on it. It's definitely something that's going to happen. I know Nasdaq's got something like that. Really is no difference. It's because you're basically buying and selling a digital product anyways. It's just on an account ledger anyways, and verified by the exchange or broker. So it doesn't really make difference on the physical, but it's convenient. I'll leave it at that. So Shakir says, so I was a major senior engineer, software engineer. Not going to lie, I haven't done with major coding by hand. AI Claude does it all the way. I totally agree, man. People don't realize the power of what alone just Claude can do on its own. The CEO always talks about job displacement and job disruption. I'm 100% there because I've seen the power of it. And I just don't see how, if you're in a white collar job, how you're going to survive. And even if you do, you're going to have to figure out how to compete against thousands of people applying for one job when there's not a lot of jobs available, and so on and so forth. Uh, so I could go on about that, but I do believe we're there now, and I do believe we are past the singularity point. If you ask me what I've seen with the Kimi 2 version, before it came out and went kind of popular, that showed so much personality in the AI responses. Um, it's they don't have that anymore in the current version, but it does exist. I know that for sure. One thing I should mention is if you want to try out Grok on X, I put in a tweet, something about with Elizabeth Warren, and Grok responded, and I actually ended up arguing with Grok. It was very intelligent. Had some humor-based personality in it. It's kind of funny. So Grok can do it. And it's quite ingenious on that was on X. JD, how am I pulling up random topics? It's just basically people. I like to talk a lot. I'll leave it at that. But also people come up with a lot of stuff, and I like to blog basically on what I'm doing. So that's multiple times a day. But I'm starting to realize that I like to go 100 miles an hour, where you get rhythmic takes them like days and days, turtle pace to get something done. And I held up for that. And you start to realize how fast you go. JDI comes back. I'm hoping for the cost of a lot of these AI models to drop. They have already dropped. As I said with the Minimax, I'm just shocked how cheap it is. You can get with Minimax 1/20th of the cost of any US based AI, good quality. And I think we're now down to 1/100th of the cost. And we'll see with DeepSeek 4, because DeepSeek 4 is supposed to be much cheaper now with them Minimax. So we'll know in a few weeks where DeepSeek is. And as I said, you can now upload Quen models to your phone. And that is revolutionary in itself, meaning why are we having these billion-dollar data centers for AI in the US? And that's one of the things of why I think Apple held back. I don't know if they did that on purpose to see what would happen in the AI space. If that was by design, it's pretty brilliant, because their stock's been kind of not performing great, and then you get the likes of Meta that's spending billions of dollars and still going nowhere. Same with Microsoft as well. Um, so Shakir asks, AI models are cheap, to be honest, if you really know what you're doing. Yes, it all comes down to simply prompting. Um, if you were to tell a car where you wanted to go and just say, take me to LA, it may take you the shortest way. But if you are a little more precise on the highways you want to go or what cities you want to go, then the AI response will be much more precise. But if you just with AI and just speak in generalities, it's not going to work for you. And I'm starting to realize when I had those portfolio guys, they say they know AI, they don't, and it's so good that they'll be, I don't know, I think they're already at a disadvantage. I'll just leave it at that. Shakir asks, I have completed 30K worth of project with just $30 of worth of tokens. Exactly, dude. And with Minimax, I mean, I can create things in 30 seconds, a few minutes, have it working flawlessly. That would have taken me weeks on end to code up. And that's the other thing you were mentioning as well. I have not looked at code, like serious coding, in months. I will look at code just out of curiosity. But I'm so now dependent upon coding or AI coding things for me. And it does it fairly efficiently too. So you can always take the code and run it against some website that will verify how good the code is. And it usually comes up and says near perfect. So coding's got to be good, it's efficient, it's optimal, blah, blah, blah. Just comes when it comes to things blowing up. That's where you got to know your stuff on how to debug it. For the poor vibe coders. What project are you used for? What project have you used them for, Shakir? That's for you. Here we go. I agree with you completely. Things would have taken me weeks or months, and now I can whip them up in a day. I don't think even a day. I'd even say right down to a few minutes. It's crazy where we are with AI. So mostly backtesting and building custom trading bots. Okay, that's from Shakir. Um, okay, I've not talked about this on a stream, but well, the AI came up with a term. It's called frontier algorithmic trading. So basically, it is what it is. It's simple. Basically, people will backtest and spend many weeks on backtesting a generic algorithm, and by the time that happens, the market regime will change. So the whole process was a waste of time. So what I'm doing is now, as you know, I have news-driven responses on the AI. So I'm news-driven events, profitable ones. I'm now using Python to generate the trading bots in response, and I can trade them. I can get them coded up very, very quickly. So that's one step. The next step is to run a bunch of them and let them run against real live data now, but don't do any orders. Run reports on them in real time, figure out which ones are profitable, keep only the profitable ones running, and prune the other ones, and just do that cycle every day, and automate it as well through agents, which I plan to do. That's what I call frontier because it's working on the frontier of where the market goes. And it's an entire trading system that self-adapts, which everybody wants. Yeah, so JDI says AI has made a significant impact on my ability to build algos, and I don't know much about coding. Voila, that's a perfect example. If you know how to apply yourself and you're driven, AI can do a lot, and I'll even say change your life, no matter what your employment or lack of employment situation is, especially when it comes to auto trading or algo trading. It's amazing where we're at. Shakira says coding up fast is there yet? Yes, but testing out all the edge cases and ensuring whole sanity testing still takes us time. I agree with you somewhat, but I want to prove you wrong. So if I have for today, let's say 20 bots created from a bunch of news, I run them against real market data and they're automatically created by AI. Okay, and then I just run them against real time data. That eliminates all the things that you speak of, sanity testing and ensuring that they're profitable. Because if it's profitable and stays profitable, just keep it on. If not, turn it off and let the next batch of trading bots come in, and hopefully you'll have the same success. And believe it or not, from what I've been seeing, 10% of those trading bots can be profitable, and there's the odd one that's a very, very lucrative. And one of the ones that I've talked about before, the stablecoin one for USDT and Circle, that's profitable. It's a printing machine for life because there's no dependencies on it. So the AI might come up with the odd strategy or trading bot like that, which is great. And I've got another one I've been testing, look good, but it hasn't taken an order yet because the trading rules are too complicated. And that's another thing too. The more you complicate your trading logic, the higher probability you're not going to get an order, profitable or not. And that's what I've been experiencing for the last couple of weeks. Even though I'm trying to do live trading, and it's kind of getting to me. So I've got to get more aggressive on that front. And discovering the Python Rhythmic API probably will expedite that exponentially. You guys got any other questions? Thanks for keeping it board. I think we're down to one person. Somebody, a bunch of people dropped off. If you got a question, we're coming up to an hour. I don't mind. Who's got a question? Questions aboard? Yeah, I'll stay. Yeah, I'll stay till 1 hour. Leave it at that. But if you got a question, comment, type away. Otherwise, I'll tear it all down. JDI's still around. What data vendor do you use for news feeds? I heard that some quants give each piece of news a score +1 for positive, -1 for negative, and trade based on that. That's the old way, because you have AI. So what you can do is just go online and look for services. You can use free services for news feeds and just feed. And if it's an RSS version, just take that, put it in as part of the prompt, and just ask the AI, say, what do you think is there profit, let's say, in this data news feed? And depending upon the model you use, it'll say yes or no. And that's all you need to do. The best feeds to work off of, depending upon your asset class, obviously, if you can get data feeds from all the big sources like Bloomberg, CNBC, but one of the best ones is to get them from the forums. Okay, when I say forums, as I said before, Elite Trader, in the crypto forums, because those are what people are doing, okay, in terms of their automation. And you feed those data feeds into your prompts, and you'll get some pretty good, interesting AI responses to that. Minimax is very good at that, and that costs you pretty well nothing. Okay, so we got Shakir not agreeing. There are slight things that get missed, such as time zone conversion. When you're multiple symbols, getting data for each in a different way, that is fast, no connection pool exhaustion. Yeah, you might be right, but as I said, if you're running one or two strategies that show profit with all the things you mentioned, most likely you probably won't care about because all you care about is the profit. You see it, you run it, and you turn it on for live trading. And if it is impact profitable, that's all most people care about. And if I'm able to do that, that's what I'll stick with. But I'm not going to get bogged down on the paralysis by analysis. I think with the AI and how fast and responsive it can be done, especially when it comes to agents, we may get past that because there was times with AI where hallucination was a big problem, and I'm seeing less and less of it. The only one I'm seeing problems with is oddly Gemini. That's about it. So I don't know, but we'll see. It's just testing, and if it works, it works. It doesn't. I'll find another way around it. So I'm not here to argue about it. Just you don't know until you live trade and make the attempts, because there's always this saying that somebody told me there's only one judge in this whole thing. That's the markets themselves. Doesn't matter what I say, what you say. If the markets say, yeah, this process, this idea is profitable, that's what matters. Okay, okay, yeah. So I think I missed some. So back to the Shakir. Ensure no loop is blocking so that it is blocking other operations. Yeah, it depends upon how you prompt your trading bots. Mine are just all sequential. They're all self-contained. They're not dependent upon other things. If there's latency on the network or latency on the system, You can easily change that and replace it with something better. Does it use up a lot of tokens? Uh, it depends. Depends how you trade. And as I said, if I had bots trading on Binance, it was 25% commission, but I've said virtually the number. It went from 17K to over 2.1 million in 2 months, virtually, of course. So commissions, all that didn't bother me. The profits were so immense. Um, Let me know my thoughts on this. My approach is first to backtest. I have my own backtesting framework. If the results are good, I look then up to simulated trading with live feed and compare results with a backtest. That's the standard way. That's the old way. I'm not saying anything's wrong with it, but it depends upon your goal and what you're trading. If you're trading news, you got to have trading bots hitting the market as fast as possible to take advantage of that trading opportunity and that news event. As opposed to if you're just trading a generic algorithm, hoping that'll work, yeah, backtesting is needed. But again, you have to backtest against real world market data. And especially now, a lot of people are not profitable consistently because the momentum's no longer there. The volatility and everything going sideways is not making it possible. So the only way to make and look at gold. Everyone thinks gold's going to be the profit center. No, when you look at the crazy volatility, or you ask why was the market held up, or why was this drop out of nowhere on gold? So that's not predictable. So you have to be responsive. Way it's looking, be responsive on trading events to stay consistent. And AI, obviously, as I said, can help you there by being responsive and using something like Python, not because Python's fast at execution, where Python excels is Python is fast at development, like fast, rapid development. That's what I like about Python as well. So Shakir said, okay, so not news. I haven't touched news market yet. I don't know what you're trading, but if you're trading, let's say the S&P 500 and the momentum and relying on that momentum, those days are done, unfortunately. They're not consistent. It's been flatlined for a long time, unless you get lucky on certain stocks and they're performing. But that's not a guarantee either. I mean, Coinbase was a good example. Marathon was a good example. Palantir, and just the Mag 7 because they skewed the markets and they're no longer performing. So what do you do? Well, you get like the standard 2% I get with these pros. So that's not working either. So I'm not happy about it. I can't complain, but I'm not happy about it. That's because the markets are unpredictable. And it may stay unpredictable. And we haven't even talked about if they'll crash or not. We don't know. But the number one goal in all this is to retain your wealth, not profit, as Warren Buffett famously said. So, yeah, you may be forced only to work off of news, unfortunately. And there's so much BS news out there, it's unpredictable. So there's that as well. Any other questions at all? We're over 1 hour, no problem there. I just noticed I was at 3 likes and now I'm down to 1 like. Amazing. Amazing. But what can you do? If you guys got any other further questions, I'll do it. Okay, if you got anything, just type away so I know it's coming. As I said, I'm going to do a going once, uh, going twice. Oh, I got another like. Thanks to whoever's on that one. So I got going twice, going 2.5 times, maybe, no, going 3 times. Okay, so we'll leave it at that. I'll be doing another random stream. Obviously, you don't need to be around. Oh, question is, what is, from Shakir, how is the Quant Labs working as revenue generating business? It's not doing as great as I want it to do because I think there's a lot of skepticism in the term algo trading and all that. So Google's not been very good. There's so many scammers out there. The only way to break through on that is through verified track record, third party verified, that is. That's what I'm going for. So once I get past that, I should be okay. As a business, we've got, like I said, building up community. Got 540 people already in one of my groups on my website. So hopefully that'll help out. That I've not really exploited. And you can't, no AI can replicate that as well. And no social media can ban me because now I've built that up on my own website. I've got almost 900 members, I guess you could call on my website. Active, I don't know because I haven't really watched it. But in terms of revenue, I do have obviously my HFT code and whatnot. That's all getting rolled out, and I'm kind of slowly building up my Substack as well. So we'll see where that goes. But the ultimate goal is to do the trading. I mean, that's what it's about. And if that there's real success in there, which I've been spending a lot of time on, I don't need to run all this stuff. You know what I mean? I don't need to be here and do all this stuff. So that may happen as well. Who knows? But it's looking good. I'm very excited to do this. Just depends how it plays out. But again, it just depends upon how this Rhythmic API thing works with the Python. I think it's going to be a game changer for sure. You guys got any other questions? Uh, I'll restart the going once. Going once. Uh, Going twice. Thanks for all the likes so far. Going twice. Going 2.5. Going 3 times. So I'll be back Tuesday night my time. All right, and that's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Tuesday night on my regular. And if I see you on the web, YouTube, okay. I'll make this last question, Shakir. How would you even teach somebody how to algo trade code it? I'm all aware of it, but I don't even know how to begin with it. I did mention this in a stream last Tuesday. I think the problem is even for my stuff, it's people get overwhelmed. They don't know where to start. I do want to start something like a video series or a something to help people get started. Because it really comes down, from my point of view, the demand of people want interactive brokers with equity and ETF, or are they want to be more serious and do the Rhythmic thing? Because like majority of all futures and options going through Rhythmic, so it depends on that. But then it's easy to build up a where to start. And part of the other thing is if I do get out of where I am in Ontario, Canada, I'll be free to do things like copying services and all that, where I'm not regulated to death. So I could do that as well. Yes. Okay. Yes, Shakir, we can talk anytime. After that, if you're not on my email list, get on my email list at quantlabsnet.com. You can try out the membership or get the ebook. It's all there. You can see it. Quantlabsnet.com is the best way. And I've got the other website, hftcode.com as well. All right, guess we're done. Thanks for watching. Have yourselves a good day or evening wherever you are. And I may see you again in another random live stream before Tuesday. Over and out. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.